Vice Admiral Ferdinand Solis Golez, Armed Forces of the Philippines, leading the Philippine Navy by example. Upon his assumption as the 30th Flag Officer in Command of the Philippine Navy, Vice Admiral Ferdinand S. Golez laid out the course that the Navy will take under his watch. He published a command guidance in 05 August 2008 for all Navy personnel to know and understand. His avowed areas of concern with him at the helm are accomplishment of the mission and welfare of the men, but not necessarily in that order of priority. He seeks to ensure to strike a balance between these two ends of the same continuum according to the circumstances of each time. Admiral Golez commits himself to continue to build on the gains of his predecessors while steering the Navy to his charted course. There are three full thrusts he wants done, namely, further pursue the Navy's fleet marine concept of operations, empower human resource in terms of training and technological advancement through physically strong and mentally equipped personnel, and lead by example. In his first 100 days in command, the following are his significant gains in the aforesaid twin areas of every commander's concern. Human resource is and will always remain as the country's most important asset, or organization's most important asset. Without sacrificing quality for quantity, he ordered a streamlining of the recruitment process. He also saw to it that recruitment facilities are brought closer to the people. Vice Admiral Golez enabled roving recruitment teams to conduct information campaigns and applications processing in key areas all over the country. Still in keeping with his avowed thrust of empowering human resources, Admiral Golez empowers Navy personnel through continuing education, through pro-flag seminars and paralegal lectures, among others. The first step he took towards ensuring that Navy personnel are abreast with technology is to usher them to a revitalized and improved Navy website. He enjoined every sailor and marine to learn and take advantage of the advances in information technology. He will be remembered as the Flag Officer in Command Philippine Navy on whose incumbency every officer and enlisted personnel of the Navy had a unique and decent email address. During his first 100 days in command, he saw through several turnover of commands and changes of heads of offices to ensure a more effective and efficient command and control. These are the Vice Commander Philippine Navy, the Commander Philippine Fleet, the Chief of Naval Staff, Commander Naval Forces Western Mindanao, Commander Naval Education and Training Command, the Assistant to the Chief of Naval Staff for Ships and Yards, the Assistant to the Chief of Naval Staff for Civil Military Operations, Assistant to the Chief of Naval Staff for Reservists and Reservists Affairs, and the reactivation of the Office of the Assistant to the Chief of Naval Staff for Education and Training. Time and again, he emphasized that the turnover of command and of duties and responsibilities manifest the strength and resilience of the Philippine Navy, because, according to him, for every position vacated, another officer rises to the challenge and is installed to fill up the post and continue its mandated task without let-up. In keeping with the Chief of Staff AFP's guidance to intensify civil military operations along with intelligence and combat operations, he spearheaded the activation of the Civil Military Operations Group on 05 November at the headquarters Philippine Marine Corps at Fort Bonifacio in Taguig City. By such birth of CMO Group, Admiral Golez envisions to win more people into the cause of the armed forces of the Philippines in general and the Navy in particular. In its critical times, Admiral Golez was unrelenting in his efforts to strengthen inter-service support and cooperation. He ensured that the Navy's share in the overall accomplishment of the AFP assigned tasks is properly achieved. As such, he caused the deployment of Navy assets in strategic areas where their services are needed the most. He made available Navy vessels to transport Army and Marine combat operational implements. Meanwhile, relief goods for soldiers and internally displaced persons and civilian victims of calamities were securely and timely delivered to the intended beneficiaries. Elsewhere in the world where the buzzword is interoperability, the Philippine Navy under his stewardship has participated in various training exercises. These, among others, are the Philippine Bilateral Exercise, the cooperation, afloat readiness training, and Southeast Asia cooperation against terrorism. Since day one, the incumbent flag officer in Command Philippine Navy emphasized the value of teamwork in every undertaking, whether big or small. While fondly referring to himself as a hopeless optimist, his advocacy remains to be teamwork, founded on a can-do attitude. Even a not-so-keen observer will easily notice his pitch for teamwork by his distribution of ball caps with Team Navy emblazoned on them. His adoption of thought-provoking and rallying slogans like Team Navy and Everyone Counts, Be Counted, plus his constant emphasis of the same team spirit in his speeches and pronouncements are likewise geared towards attaining his ardent passion for unity, revealing the good AFP team player that he is. While trailing his eyes on successful mission accomplishment, Admiral Golez never lost track of ensuring that the welfare of every Navy personnel are properly taken care of. Immediately after assuming his post, he visited the officers and men of the Philippine Fleet at Naval Base Cavite and the Philippine Marine Corps at the Marine Barracks in Bonifacio Naval Station in Taguig City. He then visited the Naval Education and Training Command in San Antonio, Zambales, followed by the Naval Forces Central in Mactan Island in Cebu City, Naval Forces Northern Luzon in Poro Point, La Union, and the Naval Forces West in Puerto Princesa City in Palawan. He also met with personnel of the Naval Intelligence Support Facility, the Philippine Navy Finance Center, the Naval Construction Brigade, and the Naval Reserve Command. He did not just break breads with them and dialogue with the personnel. He ran with them, exercised with them, and even led them in extra viand. A sound mind is a sound body, he declares. Every Navy personnel must remain fit for longevity and for them to continue to enjoy life, the FOIC adds. During his talks to the Navy personnel and the places he visits, he struck down barriers by getting close to them, literally and figuratively. He hears them and listens to them intently, makes sure that he responds to all their concerns when answers are at hand, and takes down notes of those queries and concerns that he cannot readily answer, and gives feedback. It is not all about fortification and security alone. Navy camps also underwent facelifts, and the facilities therein underwent renovations or new ones were constructed for enhanced functionalities. Aboard Fort San Antonio Abad, the Flag Officer in Command has spearheaded the renovation of the headquarters building, the N4 building, and the construction of additional bachelor officer quarter rooms. Admiral Golez also caused the renovation of the multipurpose hall to suit the consolidated mess facility that he inaugurated in 02 October. The facility offers an array of choices of affordable meals a la carte or set meals in an ambience of a first-class restaurant. Indeed, it is a decent place where the Philippine Navy personnel can treat their guests to a delicious meal. Not only does the Flag Officer in Command Philippine Navy desire teamwork to be inculcated by slogans, he also is in the process of distributing little things to all Navy personnel. And by all, he meant everybody will soon get their ball caps and their athletic uniforms. Soon, coffee mugs prodding every Navy personnel to do their share in the accomplishment of the Navy mission will be distributed. The slogan says it all, of the importance of each one knowing his job and doing it well. The slogan reads, "Everyone counts. Be counted." In a nutshell, these are the tangible and observable things that the Flag Officer in Command Philippine Navy has accomplished and or in the process of completing in barely 100 days in command. Given the same momentum and passion to accomplish the mission without sacrificing the welfare of the men, we are assured that we are well on our course into becoming a strong and credible Navy that our maritime nation can be proud of by year 2020. Let us then do our share, because everyone counts. Be counted.